CMC Army and Moneymakers, welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about one of our favorite stock, ticker symbol HCMC, OTC traded stock, Healthier Choices Management Corp. We have a vast audience on this channel and people have been asking me to do a video for HCMC. I'm going to precisely talk about, can HCMC 5x from this price point? We're at the 2 level, and can HCMC go to the 10 level? Now why 10 level? Because specifically HCMC gave us the rights to the existing shareholders. HCMC Choices Management Corp announced the expiration of the rights offering on June 2021 with the VWAP 5-day VWAP price of 0.0010 per share, which means they gave the 25% discount, and this rights offering was available for their stockholders or existing shareholders, and people got it at that price point. We are hovering between 1 and 2 level for a long period of time. Now can it go to 5x once again to 0.0010 and even better beyond that or not? We have seen that HCMC has released their earning for their 2022 quarter first earning and financial result, and it was a stunning earning. Right before that, we'll also talk about how the stock has been doing, but here we want to talk about their earning reports first. Before I go ahead, I just wanted to ask you if you can hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That will be super helpful. I've been doing a ton of videos, not so much lately, but we have been focusing a ton on some of the stocks that we own, and I will do my due diligence. I'll do the analysis and I'll be sharing that information with you. It does not really cost you anything. If you can hit that like button, we can make sure that this video information, my research and analysis, can reach to more and more people. Even better, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. That way you can get notified and get the information when you need the most. You can check my channel out, and I don't really do a ton of videos, rather I share the content which I believe that is helpful to me, and that's my way to giving back to the community. Without further delay, let's get into it. HCMC Management Corp reports first quarter 2022 financial earning that happened before a couple of days, and sales of $5 million in the first quarter, which is 46% growth year over year. The gross margin of $2 million for the quarter, which is 1/3 or 32% year-over-year growth as well. Let's take a look what HCMC did for the same period last year. And March 2021, they did $3.47 million in revenue. Fast forward to March 2022, they did $5.05 million, which is 45.67% growth. Now you also want to focus on what they did in terms of the net income. The net income was $696,000 negative in 2021 Q1, and right now they're doing negative $1.32 million, which went down almost 90%. So these numbers do bring us some of the concerns, but I'll share why this could be a long-term value for this particular stock. You want to also focus on how much cash they have on hand, $20.59 million, which is a net change in cash $5.91 million, whereas their operating income is negative $1.35 million, and the cost of revenue is pretty high in my personal opinion. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am a certified professional. I am just someone like you, but someone who does a ton of research, analysis, and shares back with the community. Cost of revenue is $3.08 million. And before that, in March, their cost of revenue was $1.98 million. So right now, their cost of revenue is pretty high, understandably, because their revenue went up as well. Now let's go back to their earning and dig deeper into what they're trying to say. They announced the first quarter 2022 result and recent highlights, as you see at the moment. Net sales from operations for the first 3-month period ended March 31st, 2022 amounted for $5.05 million compared to $3.47 million. So that was a pretty good bump in terms of the revenue, which is approximately $1.6 million and 46% increase in the same period in 2021. So I have not seen HCMC does this type of revenue historically. So take a look, 3.47, 3.39, 3.27, December 3.20 million, and March they did over $5 million, which is super exciting, and the company has a long way to go. Gross margin from operation increased by $500,000 for the first 3-month period ended in March 2022, which amounted to 1.97 million compared to 1.49 million for the same period in 2021, which is a 32% increase year over year. The net loss from the operations for the first 3 months period ended March 31st, 2022 amounted to approximately $1.32 million versus $0.7 million for the same period last year. It should be noted that $0.52 million non-recurring expenses were incurred in this 3 months period ended March 31st, which means that $500,000 that they did that occurred, that expenses, which is non-recurring expenses, so it won't be there for the next cycle in the next financial report. However, they have another type of expenses, but this particular expense was just one time. That's what they're trying to say, which is of the prior year. Variance is primarily attributed to the strategic downsizing of the vape segment. Jeff Holman, their CEO, mentioned that our first quarter 2022 results, financial earning and operational performance established by a very strong start to the year, which is meaningful progress on our strategic priorities, which we believe positions us well for another top line growth year. They also concluded that the team remains focused on driving the growth, delivering sustainable improvements in profitability. We're committed to continue making further investments that will allow us to expand the market share and capitalize on the growth opportunity that we have created. Take a look at 5.05 million compared to 3.47 million, and the total cost of sales is 3 million, or a little bit more than 3 million, 3.07 million compared to 1.975 million, and in gross profit they did 1.9 mil compared to 1.49, so almost 1.5 million. With that, total expense also went a little bit higher, 3.3 million compared to the last year of 2.02 million, which puts them at the loss from operations at 1.35 million in the current cycle, which is a little bit higher compared to what we have seen last year, which was 0.532 million or $532,000 negative. With that, we are adding up 1.317, which is the net loss that is continuing from operations, and compared to $696,000 that they had last year. Now, adjusted EBITDA is also 1.16 million. So all in all, company is running short because of their operational overheads that they are trying really hard to make sure that they don't spend too much money on, or too much overheads on operations. Their assets right now, total asset is 35 million with the cash and cash equivalent. Total current asset with 20.5 million, almost 3 million compared to 23.5 million compared to 28.7 million that they had in December, so Q4 of 2021. So all in all, the company has shied, or they spend more than $5 million in the recurring or non-recurring expenses and buying certain companies that I'll go in more detail. With the total liability that they have is 3.3 million compared to 2.5 million that they had last year same period, or last year Q4, and total liability is 7.5 compared to 5.2 million. Now, where the company is spending a ton more money, if you want to take a peek into what they are doing, let's take a look at their news section, and you should be able to also figure that part out. They are spending money. So take a look. HCMC announces the grand opening of Healthier Choice Wellness Center, the Cashba Spa, and the salon located in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So they acquired this particular business, and they are also trying to get the revenue out of it, which hopefully will turn into a ton more profit in upcoming quarters. They also announced the acquisition of Mother Earth Storehouse, an organic natural health vitamin food chain in upstate New York that will also add more and more revenue into company's portfolio. In addition to that, they also announced a licensing agreement with the Healthier Choices Wellness Center, which means that they are going to earn money or the revenue or part of the revenue or royalty based on the structure that they have put together, which means they're not spending a ton more money in terms of the operational overhead, which is companies' top line goal at the moment. And in addition to that, they have been also doing IV Therapy Center, which is an acquisition of the EIR Hydration. They are also doing some of the tie-up, six-pack tie-up that we talked about that in the past. They also did this ATG pharma that I was referring to. They also did the tie-up with Nuhi Brand, so they want to expand in Canadian market as well as Colorado, so on and so forth. Now, which is the reason why this company can truly get out of the zone of spending ton more money or the negative net cash income that we see at the moment and get into the positive territory. If you remember, this is one of the very, very popular stock. You can see on StockWits, we are seeing almost 84,000 plus the stock watchers at the moment, which is a pretty huge community. HCMC was one of the big stock, and we have seen huge volume up to 40 billion. And given that this stock is an OTC traded stock, that's a huge volume in my personal opinion. Right now, we are not seeing as much volume, but let's take a look where we are at the moment. Looking into today's volume, we are seeing 143 million in terms of the volume compared to the average volume of 391 million. So the volume is going down gradually, but that's not super surprising because market has a lot of turbulence and OTC traded stocks are super risky. It's risk versus reward, so do your own due diligence. This is not a financial advice, nor I am a financial advisor. At the end of the day, that's your money and you want to invest wisely so you don't lose it. But take a look what's happening. We have seen the higher volume. From 500 million, we went to the 200 million zone. Then we went to 150, 60, 70 million dollar, 70 million stock volume on a given trading day. And right now, volume is on the lower side. However, the price point, as you can imagine, runs between 1 and 2, and that has been going on for a long period of time. Now, whether is it a possibility? Is there any chance that this can go back to 0.0010 or 5x from this closed price point as you see at the moment? Yes, it can. There are a couple of reasons why it can go. Once the company starts making profit and the profitability sustains for a couple of quarters, company will start showing some of the juicy the profitability and net income, which will eventually help their shareholders. Second thing is company is also working on making sure that what they can do to their share structure. Now, given that this is an OTC company, we're not expecting anything drastically that happens overnight. Now, remember also, they had this Phillip Morris lawsuit for a long period of time. Right now, we are not seeing anything in terms of the lawsuit and the benefit out of what they spent. But the company did spend a lot of time, energy, and monetary value as well to fight that battle for the IQOS that has been designed by Phillip Morris based on the patent that HCMC owned. However, I'm not personally considering anything is going to happen at this point, and my thought right now is only based on what the company can do in the long term that can gain the value. One of the biggest thing I want to mention is the strong community that HCMC has behind them and people and stockholders who believe in the company. They used to have 400,000 shareholders back in the days when the company released data and when the company also mentioned about the rights offering. So the company had a pretty strong shareholders and people believed in them. Now, right now, the way the situation has been going on, I wanted to also show you this chart. We have been trending for last 6 months more or less between 1 and 3 level, and lately 1 and 2 level, as you can imagine. However, back in the days, we had seen such a high price point for HCMC. Take a look. We went from 0.0015 level, which was above and beyond what the company offered in terms of the rights offering to the existing shareholder at that time in June 2021, June 16 or 14 to be precise. 2021. And after that, the stock went once again to 0.0010 and started declining because of the hurdles that we know about the lawsuit, and nothing happened around the lawsuit, and the company started losing the stock price. After that, this year, as you can imagine, the stock market had so many ups, so many downs, but all in all, we are in down. Right now, as you can see, NASDAQ is 11,500, which is pretty low than what we had seen last year, as well as Dow Jones is 31,880, which is also pretty low, with S&P of 3,900. It's a different story right now. Today, the market is up 1.59 for NASDAQ. Dow Jones is up 1.98%. But all in all, we are not doing so great. So it's obvious for any stock, especially OTC, penny stocks, they are down because people are pretty scared to invest more and put more money into the stock market. However, do your own due diligence. If you own the stock, decide for yourself at the end of the day. That's your own money. I just wanted to share this information, hoping you can make informed financial decision. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.